How do you feel, Yagami-san? Ready to take this to the end? There's no coming back.
Give me a few.
All right, I'll be here. How do you feel,
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Gotcha. By the way, I just got a call from Hoshino-kun. Sounded gloomy as hell. Apparently, he wants you to talk to Genda-sensei over at the office when you get a minute.
Oh?
He didn't say what about, though. Anyway, I'm just the messenger. Catch you later.
Yagami-san.
of the way. What a waste.
Yo.
You get called in too?
Yep. Just walked in.
Is Hoshino-kun not back yet?
Not yet, no. Is something the matter?
No, not really.
Over here, Yagami.
Something you wanted to discuss, Genda-sensei?
No, not me. Him.
Prosecutor Izumida.
They've got men monitoring every nook and cranny of your agency. Figured it'd be safer to talk here.
More bad news?
Is that how you treat a guest? And no, it's good news.
Guess it can't be all bad.
Ichinose will testify at the trial.
So, you convinced him, huh? Run into any trouble?
No, it went fairly smoothly.
So, you want me to explain 89?
Yes, at the upcoming trial.
And by that you mean the one for the murdered lawyer?
That's right. Before his death, that lawyer made a phone call to Dr. Shono. Of course, we have no reason to believe that call had anything to do with the killing. Dr. Shono, an 89, involved in a murder? It's quite far-fetched, if you ask me.
A preposterous notion.
Indeed. However, that doesn't change the fact that the call was made. And so we'll need to explain in court just why it can't be related. And don't worry, you won't need to say a word about the call itself. Just explain the situation. 89 is a drug of global importance, and Dr. Shono and his team have put immense effort into its development. Once you've explained, I'm sure it'll clear the air.
Yes, I see. I'm not sure I can portray it accurately, though. I'm not a scientist, after all.
If you would be more comfortable, we could always call Dr. Shono to the stand. But his language may in fact be too complicated. I'm not sure our jurors would understand. If possible, I'd prefer it were you up there, Ichinose-san.
You have a point. It would be foolish to take up Dr. Shono's time with such an insignificant matter. Very well, I'll do it. Contact the Ministry of Health when the trial date is decided.
Thank you very much, sir.
If you'll excuse me, I have another meeting to get to.
Nice going. You made it sound like if Ichinose didn't testify, Shono would.
It worked.
Ichinose didn't want to risk Shono getting in there and slipping up. Can't trust anyone to do it but himself.
Good work, Izumida. Turns out you can be pretty devious when you want to be.
Devious? Really?
I'm kidding. Really, I can't thank you enough. We'll have Ichinose out in the open thanks to you. All we have to do now is find a way to corner him.
What about Hamura from the Matsugane family? Can we ask him to testify?
He's still on the run. Guy couldn't even be bothered to come to his patriarch's funeral.
Of course not. How could he after what he did? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we just grab Kuroiwa and get him to confess to being the mole?
You do remember the beating he gave you last time, right?
I let my guard down, that's all.
Cut it out, you two.
Come on, guys. We've got Ichinose right where we want him. We just need to figure out what to do next. You're not gonna win empty-handed, you know.
It's Mafuyu. What's up?
Ayabe's casino is getting raided by the police.
Lamont? Now?
Yeah, they just started. Morita is setting the wheels in motion. They've already arrested most of the employees.
I get it. It's a character assassination. A crooked cop running an illegal casino. No surprise if he commits a murder, too.
The chief prosecutor is hitting us where it hurts.
Right.
Just wanted to give you a heads up. So, how's it looking, Yagami-kun? Do you think you can win?
I'll do the best I can. The good news is, I have a lot of help. Thanks for the call, Mafuyu.
Of course. See ya.
Morita's here in Kamurocho, blowing the lid off Ayabe's casino.
In that case, I'd better get going.
He's not gonna come here.
Well, better safe than sorry.
Huh. If they're raiding the casino, Kuroi was probably there too.
What do you want to do, Doc?
The chief prosecutor's made his move. Probably wouldn't hurt to stop by and say hello. We know all about him now.
You sure this is a good idea? He's not the kind of guy you mess around with.
Don't worry. We just want to check in.
Let's roll, Doc.
I'm Ayabe's lawyer. Let me through.
Sorry, no lawyers allowed yet.
Well done, but let him pass. I'll vouch for him personally.
Chief Prosecutor?
Thanks.
Were you aware there was an underground casino hidden down here, Yagami-san?
Wow, I had no idea.
Our friend Ayabe was really something, wasn't he? Who would have thought he'd take bribes from an illicit underground casino? Not to mention selling confidential police intel to the criminal underbelly of this town. Shintane-sensei surely stumbled upon Ayabe's secret. And so Ayabe killed him to make sure the truth stayed hidden. Quickly, with a police-issued handgun.
I see. That's the story the prosecution is telling, huh?
We can speak further once we get inside.
I've learned a lot about you, Chief Prosecutor. About the tragedy in your family 10 years ago.
Then someone has betrayed me?
Someone you betrayed. Someone who trusted you for years. I have to say, it was strange seeing how you behaved in Shono's lab. A public prosecutor, the so-called defenders of justice, chose to protect 89 over the sanctity of the law. I think it's time you drop the act.
My mother, she was afflicted with early onset Alzheimer's. The disease progressed quickly. Not long after she started showing symptoms, she couldn't even recognize my face. Whenever I went to visit her, I was greeted with, "Nice to meet you," as if she didn't know who I was. Occasionally, she'd yell at me, accuse me of being a thief or a murderer. Watching my mother's mind deteriorate, well, it nearly broke me. And yet my brother continued caring for her. He was there when I couldn't be, all by himself. When we were young, he and I had both dreamt of becoming lawyers. He devoted himself to his studies, far better than I ever did. Practically worked himself to the bone. Yet, ultimately, he never managed to pass the bar. I can only imagine how he felt when I passed on my first attempt. And yet, he was happy for me, almost as if my success was his. He was truly a good man.
Please, go on.
When we learned that my mother had Alzheimer's, my brother was devastated by the news. He took it hard. I, on the other hand, was filled with internal conflict. I was torn between caring for my ailing mother and continuing my burgeoning career as a lawyer. But my brother could sense how I felt, and then he said to me, "Don't worry, leave Mom to me. Your success is all that matters. As long as you make it, my dream comes true too." And so, he continued caring for our mother for 7 long years, 24 hours a day, a woman who couldn't even recognize him as her own son. Whereas I ran further and further away. But somewhere, deep down in my heart, I knew it couldn't continue that way, that someday he would break.
And the regret you feel, that failure, is what led you to 89. When was it?
After Shintane-sensei's murder. Not long after, Vice Minister Ichinose summoned me personally to fill me in on the details.
He did? But why?
Ichinose-san predicted that the prosecutor's office would discover the dark truth about 89 before long. And upon looking into some family histories, he discovered what happened to my mother. When he realized the extent of it, he knew I would be sympathetic to their cause. His proposal was quite clear. 89 was a groundbreaking new drug, meant to save countless suffering patients and families. But if it was to see the light of day, I would have to look the other way for a while.
Prosecutor Morita, have you heard this saying before? Fire tempers iron, and temptation steals the just. If someone told you they knew how to make mankind immortal at the sacrifice of a few, you would have looked the other way no matter how many people had to die.
I do feel guilt. I can't deny that. That's the only reason I'm still here.
Shono has killed people to cover this up. Emi Terasawa died for it. What about her? Did she deserve that? Meanwhile, Shinpei Okuba was falsely convicted and sentenced to death. He wakes up every day not knowing if it's his last. What did he do to deserve that? Your guilt is nothing more than an act. Do you even realize what it is you're doing?
That's enough.
How do you think your brother would feel if he saw what you were doing now? Huh? Tell me, Morita!
Shut up! Just shut up!
If you want me to shut up, you're gonna have to kill me. Morita, Okubo-kun and Ayabe are depending on me. Emi Terasawa deserves justice too. And I'm not stopping until I get it.
Hey, Tak. Kuroi was here.
I believe that's enough, Morita-san. Long time no see. Seems you're already back in action. Guess I went too easy.
You little...
So, another 2 versus 1 fight? Is Yagami joining us?
What are you doing here?
I suggest you turn a blind eye to this. You're good at that, aren't you?
Kaito-san. Think you could stay out of this?
Like hell I will.
You already had your turn. Kuroiwa killed Matsugane-san. And well, it's about time I pay him back for what he did.
Touching words, Yagami-san. But now is the time for action. And don't worry. I won't arrest you for obstruction on this.
Don't talk to me about arrests. You're not even a cop. You're a goddamn assassin!
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Calm down. How would you even cover this up? There are limits to how much protection I can offer you. You have no reason to be here.
Kaito-san, let's go.
Get back! Everyone step away, now!
Shut your trap, asshole! What station you from? Think you're tough shit, huh? What's going on in there?
What are they doing? Those guys are Matsugane family, aren't they?
Damn right. They're probably worried about you or something. Afraid the 89 boys would come try to erase you, you know?
What?
Hey, there he is. Come on. We're out of here.
Hoshino-kun.
Yagami-san, when I heard you were here with Morita and Kuroiwa,
I get it. You're the one who called Higashi over, aren't you?
That's right. If I hadn't, who knows what dirty tricks they would have used. I couldn't take that risk.
I appreciate that, Hoshino.
And I'm really sorry for what happened in Kito's office. I was out of line. You deserve trust, and I didn't give it. Yagami-san, I messed up. What I did was unacceptable. Threatening a witness is just... It's not how I want to go about winning this case, Yagami-san.
Got one thing to say, Hoshino.
What?
Iron burns temptation, while the just are often tested by fire.
Huh?
Wait! Get back here!
Stop! What's going on? Hey, what the hell was that? He's got a black raincoat.
Who are you? What the...
Tori wrote this, huh?
Yep. Said he tried to get it out just in time for today's trial.
Illegal human experiments discovered in Kamurocho. Dementia drug AD9, the focus. These pictures.
I took him when we broke into Shono's lab.
Nice work.
Guess it's almost time.
It's time. Give him hell in there.
I will. Matsugane-san deserves justice.
Yeesh. Don't think I'm ever gonna get used to seeing you in a suit.
That's all you have to say to me? This is kind of a big deal, remember?
Are they gonna set Okubo free if you win this trial?
It's not guaranteed, but if not today, I'll make it happen eventually. Even if it costs me my life.
Good luck today, Yagami-san. I'll be taking notes.
I don't know. This trial might not be the most textbook case.
That's exactly why it'll be an educational experience.
Defendant, please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Kazuya Ayabe. Born on July 2nd, 1983.
And where are you currently residing?
This is the first trial for the murder of Masamichi Shintani. The defendant, a crooked cop by the name of Kazuya Ayabe. The bullet found in Shintani's body bore the rifling marks from Ayabe's gun. That's the most significant piece of evidence they have against him. But that was all a cover-up perpetrated by the mole, Kuroiwa. Ayabe is innocent. In other words, this trial is little more than a farce. At least, until this very moment.
The prosecution moves to call a witness to the stand. Someone who can deny this case's link to the ADDC. The Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health, Kaoru Ichinose.
The ADDC bears most of the responsibilities carried out by the Medical Institute. Most notably, the development of AD9, which was announced to the world last year. Director Kido has done a fine job overseeing its evolution into a matter of national import.
Can you tell the court what exactly AD9 is?
It's a revolutionary drug meant to be a complete cure for Alzheimer's disease. Given how pressing the drastic increase in dementia patients is, we've placed great faith and hope into AD9.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Members of the jury, despite the defense's claims that the ADDC is somehow related to this case, the prosecution holds that it is an absurdity to link such a reputable institution to the horrible murder that took place not long ago. That is all.
You may begin the cross-examination, counsel.
You're the Vice Minister of the Ministry of Health, correct? Pretty high rank.
That is what the title implies, yes.
You must have really stood out to attain that position. Maybe you did something extra special that got you noticed?
I'm not sure how this is relevant to the case at hand.
Oh, come now. Why not indulge him?
What?
Think back to 2002, the year the Medical Institute was founded. I hear you spearheaded that whole operation. As a result, many new organizations came into being, the ADDC included. Naturally, many Ministry of Health officials welcomed this move because... You gave the Ministry more presence in the public mindshare. It's no wonder they thought highly of you, Ichinose-san.
You have a point there, but...
What are you getting at?
Huh?
This is no time to be stroking his ego.
However, the good times didn't last forever. In the months and years after its founding, people slowly caught on to the medical institute's total lack of output. And with the country in a recession, they started zeroing in on the institute's funding. The vast amounts of money being poured into supporting it seemed like nothing more than a waste. Before long, closing the institute outright didn't seem out of the question. Plans were even set in motion to redevelop the land once it was gone. Rumor had it that Minister Kazumi had actually approved those plans internally.
Are all your arguments going to be based on hearsay?
Speaking of hearsay, Kamurocho's been buzzing with talk of this murderer who gouges people's eyes out. That killer is an assassin I've termed the Mole. But the truth of it is, those murders are the result of human experiments for 89, carried out in a secret lab in the heart of the city.
This is all purely gossip.
Members of the jury, 89's development is about to enter the clinical trial phase. However, ADDC researchers have already carried out clinical trials behind closed doors. Several people have died as a result.
What?
Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. And I have the evidence to prove it. Consider the research paper on 89, the dream drug said to be a cure for dementia. Dr. Kido of the ADDC presented these findings to the world. As for how that connects to Shintani-sensei's knowledge of the experiments, well,
Yagami-san, come on.
Apologies. If you'll allow me to start again. ADDC researchers were carrying out clinical trials behind closed doors in order to speed up the development of 89. Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. And I have the evidence to prove it. This is a photo of Shintani-sensei's corpse.
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
The Mole murdered him to keep the information he knew from getting out. This secret was that the data published in the 89 research had been falsified.
What?
Wait, did I...
That's quite a bold assertion. Do you have any evidence that can prove it, though?
Yagami-san, come on.
Apologies. If you'll allow me to start again. ADDC researchers were carrying out clinical trials behind closed doors in order to speed up the development of 89. Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. and I have the evidence to prove it. Take a look at this. The victim in this case, Shintani-sensei, was inching ever closer to the truth. That's why he called the ADDC. Isn't that right, Ichinose-san?
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
Not long before his death, Shintani-sensei was told a secret by Captain Hamura of the Matsugane family. A secret that led him right to the ADDC. This secret was that the data published in the 89 research had been falsified.
What?
Wait, did I...
That's quite a bold assertion. Do you have any evidence that can prove it, though?
Yagami-san, come on.
Apologies. If you'll allow me to start again. ADDC researchers were carrying out clinical trials behind closed doors in order to speed up the development of 89. Of course, they tried to keep that a secret, but it eventually found its way out. And I have the evidence to prove it. Take a look at this. The victim in this case, Shintani-sensei, was inching ever closer to the truth. That's why he called the ADDC. Isn't that right, Ichinose-san?
Please elaborate to the jury what exactly you mean by that.
Not long before his death, Shintani-sensei was told a secret by Captain Hamura of the Matsugane family. A secret that led him right to the ADDC. This secret was that someone from the ADDC was connected to the serial murders taking place in Kamurocho. And so, Shintani-sensei called the center and asked specifically for a researcher named Shono. The man spearheading the 89 human experiments.
Enough of this nonsense! Human experimentation. Don't be ridiculous. What kind of trial is being run here? How can he say whatever he wants without a single piece of evidence? Why doesn't the prosecution stop him?
Sorry. I was enjoying hearing what he had to say.
Have you lost your mind?
Ichinose-san, I'm not finished with my line of questioning.
Excuse me?
Actually, it's more of a confirmation than a question.